Hey guys, happy. Do any of us really know what day it is anymore? Tuesday, I think. I think it's Happy Tuesday. Say hey, if you're on this part of the video, you are definitely one of my replay watchers. Just leave me a replay down in the comments and let me know where you're watching from. I love going back through and seeing, going back through the comments and seeing where everybody's from and connecting with you guys. So, I have not done or really talked about this in a long, at least a year, I would say. And I feel like right now is probably a pretty good time to let you guys in on this. I'm going to try to condense this much of my story into this much. A, because I want to try to keep this video like 20 minutes. B, I have 20% left on my phone. I don't want it to die in the middle of this. And I guess I haven't really talked about, my story and really how I got started in this, in this business, because it brings up a lot of emotions and things. God says use your test as your testimony, right? Have you guys ever heard that? Really use your test as your testimony. And I have not used my test as my testimony in a while. Now, if you are on here and you have followed me for any amount of time, you know our struggles, my family struggles, my struggles, in the past, and David and all that. But if you're newer to my page, you have no idea. And I think it's really important for me to share this every once in a while. So, hey, if you were just popping on live, please say hi and tell me where you're watching from. It's supposed to rain today, but it's actually like really sunny and nice out right now. Sophie's back in her room, but David has Brantley out on the four-wheeler, and I'm like, it's quiet for a little bit, so perfect timing to do this. So, hello, Julie. Hi, Carrie. Hello, everyone. Say hello if you're just popping on. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to try to condense my story. Let me just set the picture. So, how old is Brantley now? Brantley's 7. Well, let's say 7 years ago, we lived in Lexington, Kentucky, okay? Gorgeous, custom-built home. David obviously has a car business, like we've, always had the cars and really that lifestyle. We were living that lifestyle, 7 years ago. David had his own business, was great at it. We weren't struggling financially whatsoever. And one day, and I'm talking one day, he was just like, I'm really tired. Like, I'll never forget, we were at the Arboretum in Lexington. It's kind of like this huge flower garden. And he was like, I'm really tired. And that was the day I can't even get into words. Like, our life changed. My husband was the sole provider of our family. He got sick, was literally in bed for 10 months. I'm not going to go into all the details of the sickness, but extreme adrenal fatigue, so many misdiagnoses from doctors, and that's a whole other video in itself. But long story short, the sole provider of our family was no longer. We had a house payment, a pretty hefty house payment. I mean, we had electric, we had cable, we had cell phones, we had bills to pay, right? And this happened again when I was 9 months pregnant with Brantley. So I was 9 months pregnant. We had Sophie. They're 4 years apart. She was 4. We were in a town where we had no family, zero family, no family help with childcare, anything like that. So I'm like, okay, like what the heck am I gonna do? I have a degree in veterinary medicine. I can go back to work. Do you guys have any? Who knows how much childcare is? And this was 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Gosh, almost 8 years ago. Who knows how much childcare is? And so, I'm sitting down doing the math. I'm like, well, okay, well, I'm going to be making this much a month, and childcare is this much. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, I would be working to pay for childcare. Like, it made no sense at all. So I was on Google, work from home opportunities. How can I make money? Like, what are we gonna do? Literally, what the heck are we gonna do? Every single day, I did not want to wake up in the morning because it was the same thing. We woke up, David was sick, we were struggling. We woke up, David was sick, we were struggling. We woke up, it was the same thing every day, and I was losing my mind. We were all losing everything. And I grew into this really bitter person when people around me were buying new homes and celebrating their successes. I grew into a bitter, just awful, mad, angry, negative person. When I would see somebody, being happy or getting things, I'm like, why us, God? Like, why are we losing everything and they're gaining? That's who I was. And I was like, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this. And so I'm looking for all the work from home things. I had no idea about direct sales. But I did know a little bit about Etsy. So how many of you guys know, I used to create jewelry on Etsy. I had an Etsy shop. It was called Rella's Rocks. And that's still actually my PayPal name. And I created jewelry, and then that evolved into, I made kids jewelry. Sophie was my model. It actually popped up in my memories on Facebook today, which I'm going to share with you guys the pictures I took on my front porch of Sophie modeling my necklaces, and me really trying to make this Etsy shop work. And I'll never forget, I sold some necklaces. I made $80, and I'm like, yes, I made $80. Hey Sophie, would you please bring me the phone charger from the bedroom? I'm gonna plug my phone in just so it doesn't go dead. I'm like, yes, I made $80, and I'm like, okay, that can get us some stuff from the grocery store. What about the house payment, electric bill, and everything else Sophie needs? I'm 9 months pregnant. What? So I literally worked my fingers to the bone. Has anybody worked with jewelry before? Jewelry wire, your little pliers, my little jewelry kit. I had a whole setup. My whole dining room was nothing but beads. I was ordering all of these supplies, and I was trying. I had no clue, I was trying to learn what I was doing. Will you plug it in? Actually, plug it in back behind me. Back here. And I was like, thank you so much. Hold on, guys. Let me plug this in. Maybe. Hold on, you're gonna have to come closer to me. Let me plug this in, because this is an important message for me to get to you guys. Okay, you guys. Oh, it came unplugged. Okay, can you guys see me? Okay. So I was trying to self-educate, which I'm actually really good at. I've learned over the years. And, I was trying to learn, marketing, and I didn't even have a Facebook back then. Everybody had Facebook. I was not interested in Facebook. I didn't even have a Facebook. So I was like, okay, I'll start a Facebook business page. So I started a Facebook business page, and, I'd post on there my jewelry and my necklaces. I did so many craft shows. It was insane. So let me get to this part. We could not sustain that house anymore in Lexington. We could not sustain that lifestyle. We went from living a nice, comfortable life in Lexington to moving. We moved. David's stepdad has a family out in California that owned a farm in Harrisville, West Virginia. Harrisville people, okay, that we could stay in for free. This was not a renovated like night. Like when you hear farmhouse, you're like, oh my gosh, like I would so love to live in a farmhouse. Like, oh, so chic, the country life. This was not a renovated farmhouse. This was an 1800s farmhouse that had not been lived in since the 70s. We had to move there, okay? There were literally, yes, like we cleaned it up, all this stuff. We actually did a lot of work to it, but you know, when you're in that circumstance, there's only so much that you can do, and there's literally animals like living in the roof, like under the floors, in I'll never forget pulling out the towel drawer and there was like a snake curled up on the towel, like the hand towels. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh. So we moved out into the middle of nowhere. This place was an hour from a Walmart. I mean, Harrisville has a store, like a grocery store, but like bigger stores, you're an hour from, you know, Parkersburg, which is like the closest bigger town, which Parkersburg is still super small. And this is where we were there for, gosh, how long were we there for? We were there for over a year. And this is what I want to share with you guys. It was absolutely awful, the place that we were living. But we made it, like, it brought us so much, like when I feel like most families would have just fallen apart, it made us so much closer. And I'm a huge believer in everything happening for a reason, right? Our thoughts, our values, everything changed when all of that happened to us. And I was like, we are not staying here. We are not staying here. I can't control David's health. And this is why I'm so like passionate about specifically women becoming financially independent. Because you never know what's going to happen, guys. We didn't know about this corona thing, you know, going on. You don't know when somebody's going to, I hate to say it, but drop dead. You don't know when a marriage is going to fall apart. You don't know when somebody's going to get sick. You don't know. If you've been married for 50 years, it doesn't matter. You do not know. You don't know everything could change in a split second. And so having that source of income could have changed everything. And so while we were at the farm, that's what we call it, the farm, we grew so much closer. It was literally the best Christmas. Well, actually last year was a really good Christmas, but besides last year, it was probably the best Christmas we ever had, and we had nothing. There was a side-by-side there, like a four-wheeler, and we would ride trails all the time because there was nothing else to do. And so anyways, while we were there, I was like, I've got to earn an income. Like, I have to earn an income. I'm not driving an hour one way, you know, to a vet and working for someone. I'm not doing that. No, someone else is not raising my kids. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, I already had that in my head. I'm not doing that. Whatever it takes, I'm not doing that. And who's a mom? Who's a mom? Like, hands up in the comments if you're a mom. Us as moms will do anything. Like, there is nothing that could get in my way of changing my kids' future and their life and them growing up. Nothing could get an obstacle. Nothing could stop me from doing it. So I'm like, okay, I came across this company. Guys, do you guys know what my first direct sales company was? It was Scentsy. I was using Scentsy and I was like, okay. And I was actually at a craft show with my necklaces, and the girl across from me had a Scentsy booth, and I was like, and she was telling me about this trip she won, and like, let me in on a little bit, like how much money she was making. I'm like, what? Like, I'm working so hard. I'm selling these necklaces. I'm really not making much money at all. Like, I'm wasting so much time, I felt like. And so I joined Scentsy, and I had no clue what I was doing marketing-wise. Like, it shows up in my Facebook memories, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to my friends. But I remember the first month I was with them, I think I made $50. I made $50 in commission. I was like, oh yes. I was like, $50. And I remember I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to get paid again for a whole other month. Like, I made $50 for an entire month. But we all got to start somewhere, right? And I started learning, and I started getting better, and I started watching other people on social media. And that led me to... I quit Scentsy, and I saw this company, Unique. Who knows Unique? Let me know. Do I have any Unique girls? I saw Unique, and that was my first company that I really, really dove into. And I was like, I'm going to make this work. And my goal was to make $500 a month. And I joined... Scentsy, and I worked really hard. I had parties. I had so many online parties. I had 10 online parties going on at all times. And my kids drove me. Like, that, they were my why. I'm like, I'm going to party all day, all night. And I surpassed that $500. I surpassed that $500. And that kind of got stagnant. My pay kind of was like this. And... so then, and guys, we're always constantly evolving, right? As human beings, we're always trying to better ourselves. At least I am. I'm not perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. I'm always trying to better myself. I'm trying to learn something new. I collaborate with people I can learn from. I'm always evolving. And I saw somebody talking about this new company called Lom Life by Alcone. And it was Lom Light back then. And I was like, okay, what's this? Like, it was intriguing to me. And when I know something, I just know something. And I just had a feeling to go there. And I did. I remember I resigned from Unique. And that was my first awakening of people I thought were friends aren't really your friends. And how sometimes this business, there are people like that. I'm going to be real honest with you guys. There are people like that. And if you're in direct sales or network marketing, and I hate it so much. I hate it so much because that's what gives, direct sales such a bad, icky name, which I think has changed a lot, actually. But it's the people like that, if you're not with their company, like, they don't associate with you anymore, or you're blocked, or... I even had... let's not even get into the stories, okay? Let's not get into the stories. But I left Unique, resigned from Unique, went to Lom Life. My first month at Lom Life, I remember David asking me, and David was on the mend then, and he was like, how much did you make this month? And I was like, $900. And he's like, really? Like, he was like really proud of me and couldn't believe it. Because you guys know a lot of husbands, like, they're like, direct sales, your wife's off doing whatever, and you're like, okay, like, whatever. And I was like, I made $900, which our house payment then was only $500. After we moved from the farm, okay? We moved from the farm. We actually bought our first home. It was a ranch. It was actually the house before this house, and our payment was $500. I made $900, and I was like, wow, like, yes, like, I'm on a roll. I'm doing the things, and I just kept getting better. I kept, just learning every day I woke up. Guys, I sacrificed so much time. This business takes time, okay? It happened 6-7 years, okay, to where I'm at now. And this is why I'm sharing this with you guys, is because this took time and dedication and consistency, and to where I am now, 5 figures monthly. I mean, you could do the math. I dedicated myself for really 5 years in this business to make 5 figures monthly like that, that is worth it to me. Knowing that my kids will never, ever, ever know what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. Because when all of that happened, that's why I'm so passionate. And I talk and I breathe life into my team about this business so much and into my network. And I've been talking about this business not just since the pandemic's been going on. I talked about it last week. I talked about it last month. I talked about it last year. I've been talking about Farmasi since last August because I know what's possible here. And I would consider myself an expert in this field. I have researched many companies, many comp plans. I have technically been with 4 companies. I've been around the block in a good way. And I know when I've landed on something that is pure gold. And guys, I know what it's like. I can get on here and talk to you about this because I know what it's like back in Lexington to pull into the grocery store and go grocery shopping. Okay, I talked about this with my team. I'm not going to get emotional, but I know what it's like to pull into the grocery store. I went grocery shopping, spent $250. I get back in the car and I'm like, we have $300 left and I have $250 worth of groceries. I know what it's like to go in the trunk, go through things, take back into the grocery store to return groceries, what we absolutely didn't have to get the money because we only had $50 left, guys. Do you have any idea? Who can relate to me on that? Because I feel like so many leaders, preach and say these things when they've never been there and they've never done it. And I feel like when you've never been in that situation before, guys, I remember calling, financial aid places to try to get help just to pay our electric bill. Like, it was really, really, really bad. It was really, really, really bad. And God brought us through it. He brought us through it on the other side. And I really feel like it's my job, it's my mission, it's my purpose to help other people get through it. Get through it. Because do not give up. If you were in a place right now where you're like, oh my gosh, what the heck are we going to do tomorrow? Do not give up. Okay? It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be overnight. But if you start applying yourself, find, a company that you align with. That's why I love this industry. I love it so much. Because you don't have to have this fancy college degree. You don't have to have anything special. You know what you have to have? You have to have drive, a will, and you have to have passion. You have to line up with the company that you join. Okay? And look at the comp plan, for goodness sakes. Look at the comp plan of the company you're joining. All right? Be smart about it. Be smart about it. That's all I'm asking you. Do your research. And this place, Farmasi is my home now. Farmasi is my home now because I've seen what it's done for me personally, but not only that, I see what it's done for my team. Just yesterday, if you follow me in my stories, of course, we got paid early. I had a feeling they would pay us early just because of everything that's going on in the world. And I was like, another reason. I love this place so much. And, I asked them, I said, just share, be honest. What is Farmasi, helping your family with this month? And I took screenshots of just a few of women on my team. And that's what I love so much. Because most of us are just, we're not professional makeup artists. And actually, I shouldn't say that. We do have some professional makeup artists, licensed estheticians, and all of that. But the majority of us are moms like me that we're just sick and tired of circumstances. And, life dictating to us how it's going to go. No, I'm dictating how my life's going to go, no matter what happens. I get to say, what happens within our financial situation. I am in control of that. And I can control my income. I can make as much or as little as I want here. And that is crazy to me. There's no cap on the amount of money that you can earn within direct sales. Like, I don't understand why everybody's not doing it. Honestly. Like, mark my words, I'll probably be 85 years old still on here talking to you guys because I love it so much. It's changed my life. It has changed so many women on my team. It's changed their lives. People that have been laid off through this pandemic, people that have been laid off, that this was just their hobby, is now their full-time gig, that has been their saving grace. Like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you have a job and you love it, that's great, but you need to get another stream of income, even if it's making necklaces, if you're making dog treats, if you're a dog walker, whatever it is, okay? Pharmacy is not for you, that's great. You still need to get another stream of income. It is so important. Do not have all of your eggs in one basket, okay? Because I'm telling you guys, you never, ever, ever, ever know what could happen, okay? This video went way, way, way longer than I anticipated. My story is, gosh, even so much more than what I just shared with you guys just now. We'll save that for another day. But I hope I was able to get my point across. Don't give up. If you're going through hell, keep on going, because God will bring you through it, okay? But you got to be smart about it, and you got to use your own resources. And a good resource is this thing up here in your head called a brain. Use that resource that God gave you, your brain, okay? You can figure it out. You can figure it out. You can come to this industry and you can absolutely change your entire world. Your entire world. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope everybody is it Tuesday? I keep saying it is. I don't know. Hope everybody has a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.